Dear human, dear soul, I welcome you to my podcast series, Conversations with the Universe. Since a near-death experience, I have the gift to communicate with subtle levels of the cosmos. The knowledge from these for us invisible forms of energy I capture in my books, and it is now a great pleasure for me to share this knowledge, these conversations, with you as a supplement to the books. Please excuse me if the terms and articulations are not perfect. Our mother tongue is German, but we try to translate it to the best of our abilities. Thank you. Dear friend and teacher, I'm asking you to continue with another realm of the subtle world. Please begin.
With pleasure, dear. But first of all, I would like to compliment you for your wonderful work. Not only passing on these messages, but the support you give people in your own way also radiates a lot of vitality and joy, and is noticed more and more. This makes me very happy, and I would like to share this joy with you.
Oh, thank you, my dear friend. Thank you very much. But now, let's begin, shall we?
Of course. A further transformation of my power into the next higher level of the Mother Soul is, of course, not possible. Otherwise, I would have become a Mother Soul a long time ago. But I would like to speak about this subject based on my experiences from exchanges with other wise souls. So this is not me reporting from personal experience, but from the collected information of other entities in the cosmos.
All right. Yes, I got that. Please speak.
Mother souls, similar to the clouds in the sky for you, are visible to us. They actually change and move as well. But when I use the image of the cloud in the sky, I mean the really big, extensive cloud cover, which spans many, many hundreds or even thousands of square meters, if we take human measurements. The only difference being that the kind of cloud I am talking about does not obscure any light, but lets it through and generates it itself.
So you are saying that it seems as if these clouds radiate from within themselves instead of just passing on the light from the source?
Yes. They definitely radiate their own frequency, their own power, and thus also their own light. They are certainly connected with the source, but still individual, like everything in the cosmos.
I see. Okay. I can understand the image with the cloud, but a cloud is not visible from within the cloud, only when you change the perspective. That is, it is only visible from Earth, for instance, seen from below. Is the mother cloud, the mother soul cloud, that's what I will call it for this chapter, visible to all of you from the level of the deceased upwards, or is it only visible from a certain level?
Very nice question. I love your analytical mind, Sylvia. Mother souls are visible only to the 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th levels. That is, from the wise brotherhood upwards. Very wise, clear, pure and powerful souls are able to recognize this differentiation between the light of the source and the mother soul light. All this has a lot to do with perception as well. Please do not forget that.
Yes, that's what I thought. That's why I asked it. Okay, so when you perceive the mother soul clouds, are there many?
Yes.
Logically speaking, if every soul begins this journey and contains the potential to become a mother soul on this journey, the cosmos will eventually be filled only with mother souls. And yet this doesn't make sense because the mother souls give birth to further souls.
Exactly, dear. Very nice when you come up with answers yourself. even though I'm happy to answer your questions. But that is exactly the subject matter here. The mother souls always produce their own soul children. So the creation of a mother soul does not mean the end of the souls, but more self-generating soul mothers.
Okay, but that would mean in turn that there are ever more souls. Is that the case?
Yes. The one great energy experiences consciousness in increasingly smaller units, but this does not mean that the one great whole increases.
Really?
Really.
So that means that the amount of soul energy in the cosmos is increasing?
Mm-hmm.
That's fascinating because, look, in physics, mass is an incredibly important component, at least on the level of matter where I am on Earth. It is. The theory of relativity wouldn't be consistent if it didn't operate with mass, if it didn't work with mass. The same is true for many, many other regularities. The mass of the stars, gravitational mass as a consequence of mass, and so on and so on. So if the cosmos produces more and more souls, does that have an effect? I mean, if there is such a large mass of soul energies in the cosmos that carry consciousness?
I must admit that your question surpasses even my level of knowledge. I have no answer to this, because I have never asked this question. But I do not experience the cosmos as unbalanced or without balance. It is very powerful, and maybe it keeps getting more powerful. You should perhaps pose this question to another being. It involves a very scientific way of looking at things.
Yes, that's true. Okay, well then I try to find out another way somehow. But back to what you know about the mother souls. Have you ever been able to observe the process of a master of light becoming a mother soul?
No.
What exactly can you observe? What are the movements of the mother souls, other than the basically somehow moving in a kind of space in the subtle worlds, a kind to what we call our sky?
I hope I'm not distorting this too much. I picked this imagery to be able to describe the phenomenon better to you. So you are welcome to stick to comparing it to something moving in the sky for now. From my perspective, I can observe how the mother souls keep releasing, keep giving birth to different souls. When they give birth to these energies, it's as if little satellites were coming out of them.
Okay, and are these energies all in the same coloring as the mother soul, for example?
Yes, exactly.
And do they come out of it very quickly or very slowly? How can I picture that? How does that happen?
Inquiring about the movements of the individual souls will take us to the next chapters. I would like to describe these ways later in more detail, if you agree.
Yes.
Therefore, I would ask you not to get ahead of ourselves. What I can tell you now is that the soul forces move rather slowly and carefully out of the mother soul, from my perspective. We talked about this before, that what you human beings call speed of light constitutes an important factor in the subtle levels. When I say slow, in your measuring units, that is still the speed of light many times over, and therefore, from your perspective, very fast. Please, never forget that perspective is the important component for your perception, for all of our perceptions.
Yes. Funnily enough, that takes us back to Einstein's theory of relativity, where perspective is also crucial, although I'm not sure the theory is correct when assessed from all perspectives, but that is another topic. So the mother souls shine in their own coloring and give birth to the souls again and again. Are there mother souls that release more souls and others that give birth a fewer souls?
Yes. It varies a lot and is determined by the energetics of the respective mother souls.
Do you know more about this?
No. But I suspect that this is because of the energetic balance in the cosmos, that some mother souls just give more of their quality into the whole system and others less. Just as there are others who give more at some other point in time.
Can you provide some kind of statistic on this? Are there some mother souls in your perception who have a similar frequency and who have just given birth to a lot of souls? And yeah, you know what their quality is?
Yes.
Can you tell us about that? Do you know much about it?
It's more a guess on my part. Would you like to hear it?
Yes, of course. I would like to hear your guess, even though I really like it when we talk about your knowledge. But give it a try.
I suspect that in the current cycles of Earth time that you are experiencing, more and more soul frequencies are incarnating that are born anew from mother souls. As the return of deceased souls means a different worldly perception. What I'm saying is that deceased souls are handicapped by the life they have already lived and therefore experience life differently. Unbiased, new souls are very naive, powerful and free.
You mean naive?
Naive, powerful and free. It's my observation that many such soul energies are coming to Earth.
And what do you think is the reason for that?
Because the Earth's resonance is changing.
Okay. Do you mean that this is controlled by Earth itself, by the planet Earth? It just happens and is the course of nature?
Yes.
That is, over time, earthly may become a planet with a very difficult kind of people. No, different kind of people, huh?
That I don't know. Please remember, I'm just guessing, although I don't like doing so. I'm doing it now because you have asked me to do so, to help you understand the total concept of the cosmos better. But I still perceive lots of unawareness on Earth, and I don't see fewer deceased souls incarnate who keep living out their handicaps and unawareness. I just simultaneously also see a very strong movement of these new energies. But maybe my assumption is completely wrong, and there have always been just as many deceased as new souls incarnating. Let me stress once more that this is only conjecture, stemming from my perception, and I haven't always directed my focus towards the mother souls.
You once said that Earth is a planet on which many, many different levels have incarnated, levels of consciousness. It will probably always be like that, right? Okay, you can't know that, of course. It's just quite exciting for an analytical mind like mine to keep asking what all this means.
Yes.
And when you say you notice this kind of movement, then of course that's something I want to understand. But okay, that's as far as we'll get here. I won't press you for further conjecture on that.
All right.
You know what is and what I find fascinating? All of it must have had a starting point. What came first, I wonder? You first have the source energy, okay. And the source energy created a mother soul. But we've now heard a lot about how a mother soul arises from a soul that has made its way through the worlds and the times in an incarnation process, and then in a kind of energetic ascension process at some point becomes a mother soul. But how did the first mother soul come into being?
What I have learned about this is that the source can also create mother souls. That was and is the component of the all-creating, all-cleansing source. This way, the source can make sure that the reduction into smaller units in the incarnation processes occurs in the first place and can keep occurring.
That's interesting. I'm curious to hear if the source still produces mother souls now.
I cannot perceive this.
I understand. Then maybe the source creating mother souls is only the exception and not the standard course of events. You taught me that the mother souls are connected to the source. Is there some kind of visible connection?
No, dear. All our connections exist through the power that flows through us. You understand? And this comes from the source. There are no strings or threads or whatever answer you are looking for here. It is what it is, because it is luminous and powerful.
Okay. And do you have anything else you would like to say about the mother souls now? Because I would be interested to know if you can see whether the mother souls communicate with each other.
No.
It will probably forever remain a great mystery trying to explore them properly. Unless I ever manage to establish a connection with a mother soul.
Do try, dear. Do try. Give it a go. Why shouldn't it work? Your ability to expand your consciousness is extraordinary. So use it. Give it a try. The worst that can happen is that it doesn't work.
True. Okay. Something else I would like to know. You should be able to see the process of a soul returning into the mother soul. Not after a long energetic ascension process to become a mother soul of their own, but when they return home into a mother soul, their mother soul. Does this process also exist?
Yes, of course it does.
Wow. So let me recap. When a soul leaves the body, it is more likely for it to be in a plane of the deceased. In the plane of the deceased. However, it may also happen that it goes to the upper levels of light or even returns directly to its mother soul back, right?
Right.
Which souls return to the mother soul?
Mostly I see these souls as very determined not to incarnate anymore. They are ready to dive back into the total energetics of the mother soul to give up their individuality.
Oh, really? Do such souls have a certain characteristic, a coloring? Or what are you basing your assessment of their determination on?
They are mostly very dull in color, but some areas are still very white. And I see their determination in their power to move. They move very rapidly into the mother soul at what you in your world call the speed of light, as I have already said. So, there seems to be a powerful impulse within them that wants to complete dissolution of individuality. And then this happens almost immediately.
I would have expected them to be in some other colors.
They are usually dull and white. Of course there are other colorings, but other colorings usually mean that these souls still have to go through another process of purification. Imagine if all distorted and differently colored dull souls returned to the mother soul. They would disturb the energetics of the mother soul and pollute it. But the mother soul itself cannot purify. It is and should always remain pure. Therefore, this cannot be purely from a logical point of view, and also because of physics. Impure things in the cosmos must first go through the process of purification.
Yes, we have learned that. And when you say they are white and dull, they are probably very pure souls who are nevertheless quite gloomy.
Yes.
I can understand that. Incarnation can make you gloomy. But does the mother soul manage to take away this gloom?
Yes. In my opinion, this is not very complicated and complex. The souls are immersed in purity through reintegration with their mother soul and thus lose the dullness again.
When such a mother soul gives birth to an energy, does it really give birth to a new energy, or does it only give off a part of itself? The latter would mean that sooner or later, if I use the image of mass again, the mass of the soul, the mother soul, decreases because it has sent off more and more incarnating energies, souls. So what about that?
A very important and very good question. Thank you for it. I observe the mother souls as energy fields that move and vary in size. Therefore, it is my assessment that they do not really give birth to energy, but they give energy off as a single piece.
I see. So these energies really simply split off from the mother soul.
Yes.
Then it's not really giving birth. And the term is wrong. We should not distort this. We need to use the proper term. It's a splitting off. So the mother soul has the ability to split off parts of itself, small parts of itself, which can then incarnate.
Yes.
But the mother soul cannot dissolve itself completely by disintegrating into countless pieces. Something of this energetics must always remain in the subtle world, so that it is there when some souls want to return, right?
Yes.
Okay. And can you provide a statistic according to your observation as to how big a piece splits off into a soul from such a mother soul?
As far as I can perceive it, is never more than half of the mother soul which splits off and generates souls. The remaining part stays in the cosmos to keep the connection to the other parts.
Yes, that makes sense. So that means we are all connected to the mother soul, to our mother soul. But in what way are we connected?
Far more than the power of the source, the power of the radiating mother soul radiates through you. It's like the basic imprint of your soul power, the soul potential you are. That is why it is your soul family.
When you say far more, what percentage is that?
It's, well, human questions. It's 70 to 30. A share of 70% from the mother soul, its power, its light, its consciousness, and its individual potential. And the other 30% come from the source. Ultimately, of course, all of it is source power, expressing itself in different ways. So the question has to be answered somewhat cautiously.
Yes, I see. So we are connected with our mother soul via the energy that we are, via our consciousness, via our individuality. This means that each mother soul can bring forth similar souls incarnated at the same time.
Right.
That explains, of course, why we gravitate more towards some people than towards others. Why we say we think the same way, feel the same way, and so on. Every now and then they will be other souls from the same mother soul, the same mother frequency, let's say our soul family.
Right.
Nice. Have you ever heard of a soul not wanting to go back to its mother soul anymore? In other words, that is, it lost too much of the connection. I mean, is that possible?
No, that is not possible. Because energy doesn't fade, it only changes.
Yes.
But this primordial imprint is the essence of the soul. And even if the soul transforms and experiences distortions, it will always carry this primordial force of the mother souls. Is the primordial force. You can't ask whether it loses this primordial power, because then the soul would no longer exist. And there is not such a thing. Such a state does not exist. The re-merging of the elemental force with the mother soul only means that its consciousness transforms and returns from individuality into the great whole. But still, the energy unit, the energy, remains. Energy cannot be extinguished. It is in constant change.
Yes, I know. It's a simple energy.
It's a simple energy law on our level,
Yes.
in our world. It's a cosmic law.
Also in ours. Okay, let me feel further into this for a moment. Do you know if such a mother soul has a great consciousness?
Consciousness is changeable. And I know that the mother souls themselves have their own consciousness, because they have their own energy frequency. As you know, every energy field, depending on the power, carries information and therefore also guides consciousness.
Yes, that makes sense, because then the mother souls themselves, equipped with a kind of will of their own, can decide that they will now begin to divide, to split off smaller souls from themselves. How can I picture that? Are all mother souls up there present to up about 50%, right?
As I said before, dear, with some you can only see 50% of their mass. With others you can see more. At least that's how it seems. And some seem more active, some less. So
when you look at them, what is that like for you?
it's a wonderful feeling. Very expansive and powerful.
And do you sometimes long to go there?
No, not at all. I want to remain in my position, in my frequency, so that I can keep experiencing knowledge from here, direct it further, pass it on. This complete abandonment of my individuality is not yet my goal.
In a way, that is what comes next for the Masters of Light, right?
Yes and no. For them it's not the complete dissolution, abandonment of their individuality. You're getting things a little mixed up, Sylvia.
Yes, you're right. The souls that return directly into the mother soul, they lose their individuality and just like kind of forget everything and are back to the one power. And the energies that have grown their energy and power via the several levels and became masters of light and so on, they have still individuality, and then they become mother soul. Okay. Well, some are those souls that return to the mother soul, and some are those that become mother souls.
Yes,
I see.
exactly.
Well, thank you, dear teacher. Thank you. Have you ever noticed very many souls from a certain soul group that is from one mother soul coming back into it?
No.
So it's always only been the occasional soul.
Yes.
Okay. Well then, my dear friend, I don't have any more questions about the mother souls for now. Should other questions arise, I would ask, of course, at a later state, at a later point. Thank you very much. That was one more very, very fascinating chapter. Thank you. Love.
I thank you, dear Sylvia. Love.